presented by Soundlibra.com. Explore more titles via the link in the description or at Soundlibra.com. Welcome to the Sleep Revolution, transforming your nights and upgrading your days.
It's great to be here, Alex. I'm Lisa, excited to dive in. Just a quick heads up before we get started. While we're sharing tips to improve your rest, this isn't medical advice. Always consult a healthcare professional for any specific health concerns.
Exactly right. It's all about finding what works for you. Sleep felt passive before, but we're about to learn otherwise. Our sleep revolution starts with a shift. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's a non-negotiable pillar of peak performance, health, and well-being. Think of it as the ultimate productivity hack.
Productivity hack, not just rest. For listeners thinking, I'm too busy, why is this revolution so important now?
Chronic sleep deprivation actively sabotages your potential. It impairs clear thinking, problem-solving, and decision-making. It affects mood, increasing irritability and reducing stress resilience. It also weakens your immune system and raises your risk for chronic diseases.
So we push harder, yet undermine our own capacity. A vicious cycle.
Exactly. That's why it's a revolution. It's a reevaluation of priorities and a strategic overhaul of habits. This series is your roadmap.
A roadmap sounds fantastic. Many accept feeling okay when they could feel great. What can listeners expect from our journey?
We'll demystify sleep, what happens when we close our eyes. We'll explore the intricate architecture of our sleep cycles, understanding the different stages and their vital roles. Sleep is a highly active, crucial process.
Fascinating. So, we understand why sleep is important, then move to the how, right? How do we improve it?
Precisely. We'll explore the powerful influence of our internal body clocks, our circadian rhythms. Aligning our lifestyles with these natural cycles is key, rather than fighting them. Imagine syncing your energy with your daily tasks.
That would be revolutionary. And you mentioned upgrading our days. How does better sleep improve our waking lives?
We'll discuss creating an optimal sleep environment, your sleep sanctuary. We'll identify common disruptors, those hidden culprits. And we'll introduce the concept of the golden hour, a ritual to prepare for sleep.
The golden hour sounds intriguing. It feels like building a solid foundation for better days.
That's the goal, Lisa. We'll tackle modern challenges, like the glow of screens and their impact. We'll explore the diet-sleep connection and share practical, everyday sleep hygiene hacks.
So, it's not just about bedtime, but the entire ecosystem supporting our sleep, from environment to habits.
You've hit on a key point. This series builds a bulletproof routine. Consistent, integrated approaches make excellent sleep the norm. We'll also explore advanced strategies and troubleshooting for persistent issues.
It sounds like a comprehensive guide to reclaim energy, focus, and well-being. Waking up refreshed, not dragging yourself out of bed, is incredibly motivating.
That's the essence of the sleep revolution. It empowers you to control your nights, to unlock your day's potential. This is an invitation to change your relationship with sleep and elevate every aspect of your waking life. If you're ready to stop existing and start thriving, join us.
We are excited to embark on this transformative journey with all of you. Thanks for listening. Next episode, Decoding Your Sleep Architecture.
Welcome back. Last time, we explored the importance of sleep. Now, let's dive into your sleep architecture.
So, we're not just sleeping, but moving through different phases?
Exactly. Sleep is divided into non-rapid eye movement, or non-REM, and rapid eye movement, or REM sleep.
Let's start with non-REM. What's happening there?
Non-REM sleep has stages. Stage 1 is a light, dozy state, a transition. You can be easily awakened.
Okay, the first step into sleep. What's next?
Stage 2 is deeper. Your body temperature and heart rate slow. Brain waves become more rhythmic. This is a preparation phase for deeper sleep.
So, it's preparing for really deep sleep?
Precisely. Stages 3 and 4 are deep sleep or slow wave sleep. Your heart rate and breathing are slowest. Your muscles relax and your body repairs and grows. This is crucial for physical recovery and immune function.
Wow, so that deep sleep is when the actual restoration is happening.
This deep sleep is incredibly restorative. Without enough, you'll feel physically drained. Now, after non-REM, we get to the equally important phase, REM sleep.
Ah, REM sleep, the one with rapid eye movements. What's its significance?
REM sleep is characterized by rapid eye movements. Your brain waves become active like a waking brain. Your muscles are paralyzed to prevent acting out dreams.
So your brain is buzzing, but your body is still? That's wild.
It really is. This is when most dreaming occurs. REM sleep is critical for cognitive functions like learning, memory consolidation, and emotional processing. Your brain is filing information and integrating experiences.
So, if deep sleep repairs the body, REM sleep is essential for our minds?
That's a great way to put it. Deep sleep is for physical repair, and REM sleep is for mental and emotional processing. These cycles aren't linear. You cycle through them multiple times a night.
Tell me more about that. How does the pattern change?
In the early night, you spend more time in deep non-REM sleep. As the night progresses, you spend more time in REM sleep. Each full cycle lasts about 90 to 110 minutes. An 8-hour night might have 4 or 5 cycles.
So, the composition of your sleep changes throughout the night. That's interesting.
Exactly. This architecture dictates how rested you feel. If you miss stages, you don't get the full benefits. Understanding this is key to better sleep.
So, to recap, we have non-REM sleep with light dozing and deep restorative sleep, and REM sleep for our brains, memory, and emotions. These stages cycle and shift throughout the night.
You've got it perfectly. This understanding helps us identify where our sleep might be falling short. Are we getting enough deep sleep for physical recovery? Enough REM for cognitive function?
It's like knowing the blueprint of your house before making repairs.
A perfect analogy. We've decoded your sleep architecture, understanding the roles of non-REM and REM sleep and their cycles. This knowledge is our springboard for improvements.
It sets the stage for understanding and fixing sleep issues.
Indeed, that brings us to the end of this segment. Next episode, we'll explore the power of your internal biological clock, your circadian rhythms.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back. Last time, we decoded your sleep architecture. Now, let's explore circadian rhythms.
Circadian rhythms. It sounds so scientific, but it's something we all experience.
Absolutely. Think of your circadian rhythm as your body's master internal clock. It's a roughly 24-hour cycle regulating your sleep-wake pattern and many other biological processes. It dictates when you feel sleepy and when you feel alert.
So, it's more than just feeling tired when it's dark and awake when it's light?
Much more. Light and darkness are the primary cues that synchronize our internal clock. This master clock is in a tiny region of your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, the conductor of your biological orchestra.
Okay, the SCN. So, this internal clock is always ticking? How does light and darkness sync it?
That's right, it's always ticking. When light enters your eyes, it sends signals to the SCN. These signals tell your brain it's daytime, time to be awake and alert. This triggers hormone release and raises your body temperature, making you feel energetic.
And when it gets dark,
When darkness falls, the SCN receives fewer light signals. This tells your brain it's time to prepare for sleep. A key hormone released is melatonin, often called the sleep hormone, signaling your body to wind down.
so our circadian rhythm is dictating our desire to sleep or be awake based on light cues.
It is elegantly simple, but incredibly powerful. This rhythm influences when your digestion works best, when your body temperature is highest, and when your alertness levels peak. Ideally, your lifestyle should align with these natural rhythms.
This is where it gets tricky, isn't it? What happens when our lifestyle doesn't align with our natural circadian rhythm?
This is the crux of many modern sleep problems. When we constantly fight our natural rhythm by working late shifts, using bright artificial light late at night, or traveling across time zones, we create circadian misalignment. It's like trying to play a symphony when half the orchestra is playing in a different key.
Circadian misalignment. I can feel that creating problems. What kind of problems?
The most obvious is difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, and feeling tired and groggy during the day. Chronic circadian misalignment has been linked to a higher risk of health issues, including metabolic disorders, cardiovascular problems, and mood disorders like depression and anxiety.
Wow, it's much bigger than just sleep. So, for someone who works irregular hours, they're constantly battling their own body's internal clock?
Precisely. Imagine your body has a preferred schedule, and you're forcing it to work against that. This dissonance can lead to poor sleep quality and daytime fatigue, even if you're getting enough hours.
And I've heard people talk about night owls and morning larks. Is that related to our circadian rhythm?
Exactly. Those are expressions of our individual chronotypes. Our chronotype refers to our natural inclination to be more active or sleepy at certain times of the day. This is largely determined by our genetic makeup and influences how our circadian rhythm is timed.
So, if I'm a night owl, forcing myself to wake up at 5 a.m. every day is fighting my natural chronotype and my circadian rhythm?
To a degree, yes. While we can adapt, drastic changes can be taxing. The goal isn't necessarily to completely change your chronotype, but to understand it and work with your circadian rhythms as much as possible.
Working with your rhythms, what does that look like in practice?
It starts with understanding your body signals. One of the most powerful ways to support your circadian rhythm is through light exposure. Getting bright, natural sunlight soon after waking up is crucial for setting your internal clock. Conversely, dimming the lights in the evening, especially avoiding blue light from screens, tells your body it's time to start producing melatonin and prepare for sleep.
So, it's about using light and darkness as signals. More light in the morning, less light at night. That makes a lot of sense.
It really does. Consistency is also key. Trying to go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on weekends, helps to stabilize your circadian rhythm. This consistency reinforces the pattern for your internal clock.
This sounds like it ties directly into building a routine. But for today, the main takeaway is that our bodies have an internal 24-hour clock, the circadian rhythm, that controls our sleep-wake cycle and many other functions. And this clock is heavily influenced by light and darkness.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. Aligning our lifestyle with these natural rhythms, especially through consistent light exposure and a regular sleep schedule, can have profound benefits for our sleep quality, energy levels, and overall health. When we fight our circadian rhythms, we set ourselves up for fatigue and a host of other issues. It's about working with our biology, not against it.
It's like an internal GPS for our bodies. And if we ignore its directions, we're going to get lost.
A great analogy. We've learned how fundamental circadian rhythms are to our well-being. Next episode, we'll explore how to create the ultimate sleep sanctuary by optimizing your bedroom environment. Next episode, crafting your sleep sanctuary, bedroom optimization. Welcome back to the Sleep Revolution. Last time, we decoded your circadian rhythms. Now, let's optimize your bedroom.
We've covered the why and the when of sleep. Now it's time for the where. We're making your bedroom your ultimate sleep sanctuary.
Exactly. Our bedrooms should be temples of rest, not multi-purpose rooms filled with distractions. We need to intentionally design our sleep space to signal to our brains that it's time to wind down and recharge.
So, where do we begin with room optimization? It sounds like a big task.
We can break it down into key elements: light, temperature, and sound. Let's start with light, or more importantly, the lack of it.
Yes.
We learned light can interfere with melatonin production. So, darkness is key.
Precisely. Melatonin is our sleep hormone, and it needs darkness to do its job. Think of light as a wake-up signal for your body. Even small amounts of light can disrupt your sleep cycle. So, the goal is to make your bedroom as dark as possible.
What does as dark as possible mean in practice? Most of us have some light coming through the windows.
It means addressing those light culprits. Blackout curtains are your best friend here. They block out almost all external light. If you can't get blackout curtains, even heavy, dark-colored drapes can make a significant difference.
And what about the little lights within the room itself? Those glowing digital clocks or the standby lights on electronics?
Excellent point, Lisa. Those are often overlooked, but can be surprisingly disruptive. Cover up any lights on electronics with tape or opaque stickers. If you have a digital clock, turn it away from your bed, or, if possible, opt for a model with a dim or off setting. Better yet, consider if you even need a clock in the bedroom, or if a quick glance at your phone is sufficient.
I know many people use sleep masks too. Is that a good alternative if you can't achieve complete darkness?
Sleep masks are fantastic for blocking out remaining light that might seep in, especially if you travel or share a room where you have less control. They create a personal zone of darkness. Just make sure it's comfortable and doesn't put too much pressure on your eyes. So, to recap on light, aim for total darkness, use blackout curtains, cover electronic lights, and consider a sleep mask.
Got it.
Darkness is paramount. What's the next big factor?
Temperature. Most people sleep best in a cool room. Think about it. When you're feeling drowsy, your body temperature actually drops slightly.
So, cranking up the heat is probably not the best idea for sleep.
Definitely not. The ideal temperature for sleep is generally between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. This might feel a bit chilly during the day, but it's optimal for sleep.
Wow, that does seem cooler than what many people keep their homes at. How can someone achieve that consistently, especially if they live in a warmer climate?
There are a few strategies. Good insulation in your home helps. Using fans, especially ceiling fans, can improve airflow and create a cooling effect without drastically lowering the thermostat. If you have air conditioning, use it to maintain that cooler range. And think about your bedding too. Breathable, natural fibers like cotton or linen for your sheets and duvet can help regulate your body temperature. Avoid heavy synthetic materials that trap heat.
That makes sense. So, a cooler environment, around 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, and breathable bedding.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about the third key element, sound. While complete silence isn't always achievable or even desirable for everyone, minimizing disruptive noise is crucial.
What kind of disruptive noise are we talking about? Traffic? A neighbor's dog?
All of those and more. Sudden, loud noises can jolt you awake, disrupting your sleep stages. However, some gentle background noise can actually be beneficial.
That's interesting. How can background noise be helpful?
It can create something called sound masking. This means it fills the auditory landscape with a consistent, low-level sound, which can help drown out those sudden, jarring noises. Think of it like this. If the room is completely silent and a car horn honks outside, it's very startling. But if there's a gentle hum of a fan or a white noise machine, that car horn might become much less noticeable.
So, a gentle, consistent sound can smooth over the disruptions. What are some examples of these helpful sounds?
White noise is a popular choice, as it contains all audible frequencies at equal intensity. You can find white noise machines or even apps that produce white noise, pink noise, or brown noise. Some people find nature sounds, like rain or ocean waves, to be very relaxing and effective. The key is to find a sound that you find soothing and consistent, and that doesn't contain jarring fluctuations.
I see. So, it's about creating a soothing auditory environment, whether that's through quiet or a consistent, pleasant background sound.
Precisely. So, let's quickly recap the three pillars of your sleep sanctuary: light, temperature, and sound. For light, aim for total darkness using blackout curtains and covering up distracting lights. For temperature, keep your bedroom cool, ideally between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, using breathable bedding. And for sound, minimize disruptive noises and consider using white noise or other soothing background sounds to mask them.
It's really about taking control of your surroundings to deliberately encourage sleep. These are all practical, actionable steps we can take.
Absolutely. And by optimizing these elements, you're sending a powerful, consistent message to your brain. This is a place for rest. This is where you recover. This is your sleep sanctuary.
It feels empowering to know we can make these changes and significantly impact our sleep quality.
It truly is. We've now set the stage by understanding our internal body clocks and optimizing our external sleep environment. Next episode, we'll explore the unseen saboteurs that might be working against your best efforts to get a good night's sleep. Next episode, the unseen saboteurs, identifying sleep disturbers. Welcome back to the Sleep Revolution. Last time, we explored how to create the perfect sleep sanctuary by optimizing your bedroom. Now, we're going to shine a light on some common, often overlooked factors that can silently sabotage your sleep quality. These are the unseen saboteurs.
Unseen saboteurs. I like that. It makes you think about those things you might not even realize are messing with your rest. Like, what sneaks into your room and messes with your sleep?
Exactly. We're talking about everyday things, habits, substances, even our own thoughts that can disrupt your sleep architecture without you even noticing. Think about caffeine, alcohol, late night meals, and stress. Individually, they might seem harmless, but together, they can create a perfect storm for poor sleep.
Okay, so let's start with caffeine. Most of us love our morning coffee, or maybe an afternoon pick-me-up. How can that be a saboteur?
The key here is timing and quantity. Caffeine is a stimulant, and its effect can last for a surprisingly long time in your body. While it might give you that initial jolt, if consumed too close to bedtime, it can make it incredibly difficult to fall asleep. It blocks adenosine, a neurochemical that makes you feel sleepy.
Adenosine, that's the body's natural sleep signal, right? So caffeine is like putting up a sign that says do not disturb to our sleep signals.
A fantastic analogy. And this do not disturb sign can linger. Even if you stop drinking coffee mid-afternoon, a significant amount of caffeine can still be in your system hours later. For some people, its half-life, the time it takes for the body to process half of it, can be up to 5 or 6 hours. So, enjoying a latte at 4 p.m. could still be impacting your sleep at 10 p.m.
Wow. I never realized it lasted that long. So, what's a good rule of thumb for when to cut off caffeine?
A common recommendation is to stop caffeine consumption at least 6 to 8 hours before your intended bedtime. For many, this means no more caffeine after lunchtime. It's about understanding your own sensitivity and experimenting to see what works best for you. Remember, the goal is to support your body's natural sleep cues, not to fight against them.
Okay, caffeine out. What about alcohol? Most people probably think alcohol helps them sleep because it makes them feel drowsy.
This is a very common misconception, and it's one of the most insidious sleep saboteurs. While alcohol might help you fall asleep faster, it significantly disrupts the quality of your sleep, particularly in the second half of the night. It interferes with your REM sleep, the stage where dreaming occurs and your brain processes emotions and consolidates memories.
So, it might get you to sleep, but it doesn't let you sleep well?
Precisely. Alcohol fragments your sleep. This means you're more likely to wake up during the night, even if you don't fully remember it. You might experience more frequent awakenings, leading to a less restorative sleep. It can also worsen snoring and increase the risk of sleep apnea. Think of it like this. Alcohol might act as a faulty switch that turns on sleepiness, but it keeps flickering off and on throughout the night, preventing deep, continuous rest.
That's a good way to put it. It's not a smooth transition into deep sleep, but a broken on-off. So, it's best to avoid alcohol close to bedtime, or ideally, avoid it altogether if good sleep is the priority.
That's the general consensus for optimal sleep. Now, let's talk about late night meals. What happens when we eat heavy or spicy food right before hitting the pillow?
Ugh, I'm guilty of this sometimes. It usually results in me feeling uncomfortable, maybe a bit bloated, and definitely not ready for sleep.
That discomfort is your body working overtime. When you eat a large meal, especially one that's fatty, spicy, or acidic, your digestive system has to work hard to process it. This can lead to indigestion, heartburn, and general discomfort, all of which make it difficult to settle down and fall asleep. Your body is busy digesting, not winding down for rest.
And I assume that even if we manage to fall asleep, the digestive process is still going on in the background, disrupting that restorative sleep you mentioned?
Exactly. Imagine your body trying to enter its nightly repair and rejuvenation mode, but its engine is still revving because it's processing a meal. Lighter, more easily digestible foods are better consumed a few hours before bed. If you're hungry, a small, balanced snack is a much better option than a full meal.
So, a full meal is like asking your body to focus on digestion when it should be focusing on rest. Makes sense. Now, you also mentioned stress and anxiety as saboteurs. Those feel a bit more abstract than caffeine or food.
They are, but they can be incredibly powerful sleep disruptors. When we're stressed or anxious, our bodies release a surge of hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These are the fight or flight hormones designed to keep us alert and ready for action. They're the absolute opposite of what we need to fall asleep.
So, a racing mind, worrying about work, relationships, or anything else, is essentially triggering a wake up call from our own bodies.
You've hit the nail on the head. This can manifest as difficulty falling asleep or frequent awakenings throughout the night with those same anxious thoughts replaying. It's a vicious cycle. The worse you sleep, the more stressed you might become about not sleeping, which then makes it even harder to sleep. Taming these mental saboteurs is crucial.
And we'll certainly dive deeper into that in a later episode. But for now, understanding that stress itself is a physical, hormonal response that keeps us awake is key. It's not just in your head.
Absolutely. It's a physiological state that is incompatible with sleep. So, to recap these unseen saboteurs, caffeine, if consumed too late, alcohol, which fragments sleep quality, late night, heavy meals that disrupt digestion, and stress or anxiety, which trigger our body's alert system. These are all common culprits that can silently undermine our efforts to get a good night's rest.
It's empowering to know what these saboteurs are. Once you can identify them, you can start to take steps to mitigate their impact. It's about making conscious choices that support, rather than fight, our natural sleep processes.
Exactly. Recognizing these patterns is the first step. In our next episode, we will explore the golden hour, mastering your evening ritual to set yourself up for a truly restful night.
Sounds like the perfect follow-up to identifying what we shouldn't be doing. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to the Sleep Revolution. Last time, we explored the sneaky sleep disturbers. Today, we're diving into something incredibly powerful, the golden hour.
That's the time right before bed, isn't it? The period where we can impact our sleep quality for the night. It feels like a crucial window.
Exactly. Think of it as your body's transition phase. All day, we're stimulated. As evening approaches, we need to gently signal to our systems that it's time to shift gears. This golden hour is that signal. It's about winding down, letting your brain and body know sleep is coming.
So, it's not just about stopping what we're doing, but actively preparing for sleep. What kind of signals are we talking about?
Great question. It's a multi-sensory experience. We want to reduce stimulation, lower our core body temperature slightly, and calm our minds. Your body is like a complex machine. You wouldn't shut off a car engine abruptly at 70 miles an hour, right? You'd slow down gradually. The golden hour is that gradual deceleration for our internal systems. We're aiming to create a consistent, calming routine that tells your brain, okay, it's time to start producing melatonin, time to wind down, time for rest.
That makes so much sense. It's about building a bridge from wakefulness to sleep. What are some of the key components of mastering this hour?
First, let's talk about light, specifically artificial light. As the sun sets, our bodies naturally start producing melatonin, the sleep hormone. But blue light, the kind from our screens, phones, tablets, computers, is a major disruptor. It tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, suppressing melatonin. So, the first and perhaps most critical step is to dim the lights and avoid blue light sources.
This is something I struggle with. It's so easy to get lost scrolling or watching something just before bed. So, dimming lights and maybe special glasses?
Dimming lights is a fantastic start. Consider using warm tone bulbs or dimmer switches. And yes, blue light blocking glasses can be helpful if you must use screens. But ideally, the goal is to shift away from screen-based activities altogether during this golden hour. This is where intentional, calming activities come into play.
So, what kind of activities are we talking about? What should replace screen time?
Think of activities that are soothing and don't require intense mental effort. Reading a physical book is wonderful. Gentle stretching or yoga can release physical tension. Listening to calming music or a podcast, perhaps not one too stimulating. Journaling is also a powerful tool for many people. It's a way to get thoughts out of your head and onto paper, preventing them from swirling around when you're trying to sleep.
Journaling. I like that. It's like emptying a cluttered desk before shutting down for the day. And what about activities that are not good for this hour? What should we consciously avoid?
Certainly anything that's highly stimulating. This includes intense exercise, engaging in work or problem solving that causes stress, and even deeply emotional conversations. We want to avoid anything that will get your adrenaline pumping or your mind racing. For some people, even watching an exciting TV show or playing a fast-paced video game can be disruptive. It's about creating a peaceful buffer zone.
So, no late night intense workouts or heated debates before bed. That's a good rule of thumb. What about food and drink? Can that play a role in the golden hour?
Absolutely. While we covered diet previously, it's particularly relevant here. During your golden hour, avoid caffeine and alcohol, as both can disrupt sleep architecture. Large meals or excessive fluid intake close to bedtime can also lead to discomfort and wakefulness. A light, sleep-friendly snack might be okay if you're truly hungry, but generally, it's best to avoid eating heavily. A warm, non-caffeinated herbal tea, like chamomile, can be a very soothing ritual to incorporate.
A warm cup of tea sounds perfect. It's a simple, comforting gesture. You mentioned core body temperature earlier. How does the golden hour influence that?
That's a fascinating aspect. Our core body temperature naturally dips as we prepare for sleep. Activities that gently cool you down can support this process. A warm bath or shower about an hour to 90 minutes before bed can be incredibly effective. The initial warmth raises your body temperature, and then the subsequent cooling as you dry off signals to your body that it's time to prepare for rest. It's a beautifully designed biological cue.
A warm bath that feels like a classic, comforting bedtime activity. So, to recap the golden hour, we're aiming to dim the lights, avoid blue light from screens, engage in calming, low stimulation activities like reading or gentle stretching, avoid work or stressful conversations, and be mindful of food and drinks. And the warm bath helps our body temperature cool down.
You got it, Lisa. It's about creating a consistent, predictable signal to your brain and body. This consistency is key. If you do the same calming things every night, your body starts to anticipate sleep. It almost enters a state of readiness. For the first few nights, your body might not fully respond. But after a week or two of a consistent ritual, you'll likely notice a significant difference.
That's encouraging. It suggests that this isn't just a superficial trick, but a way to work with our natural biology. So, for someone starting out, what would be a good, simple evening ritual to implement?
I'd suggest starting small. Pick one or two things. Maybe it's putting away your phone an hour before bed and reading for 30 minutes. Or perhaps it's a short, gentle stretching routine followed by a cup of herbal tea. The most important thing is to choose activities you genuinely find relaxing and to stick with them as consistently as possible. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It's the intention and the regularity that matter most.
So, the emphasis is on personalizing it and making it sustainable. It's not about creating a rigid, unachievable schedule, but a gentle, mindful transition.
Precisely. And as you become more comfortable with your initial ritual, you can gradually add or adapt elements. For instance, you might want to incorporate a few minutes of mindfulness or controlled breathing. The goal is to create a personal sanctuary of calm. Remember that the golden hour sets the stage for your entire night's sleep. By mastering this time, you're significantly improving your chances of falling asleep faster, staying asleep longer, and waking up feeling more refreshed.
It really sounds like an investment in our whole day, not just our night. Preparing your body and mind for rest during that golden hour is a proactive step towards transforming our sleep.
Absolutely. It's empowering to know we have this dedicated time to invest in our sleep health. It's a conscious choice to prioritize rest and well-being. Next episode, we'll tackle one of the biggest culprits of modern sleep disruption, technology and screens. Welcome back. Last time we covered creating the perfect evening ritual. Now let's tackle screens and sleep.
This is such a huge topic, Alex. It feels like everywhere we look, there's a screen, and it's so tempting to just scroll through social media or watch one more episode before bed. But we know that's not great for sleep.
Exactly, Lisa. And there's a very specific scientific reason for that. It all comes down to light, and more specifically, blue light. Our bodies have an internal clock, and this clock is heavily influenced by light signals from our environment.
Our internal clock, you mean circadian rhythms. We talked about those in episode 3.
That's right. Our circadian rhythm is our roughly 24-hour cycle that regulates things like sleepiness and wakefulness. And one of the most powerful regulators of this rhythm is light. Specifically, our brains use light to tell us when it's daytime and when it's nighttime.
So when we see light, our brain thinks, okay, time to be awake.
Precisely. But here's where screens become a problem. The light that screens emit, especially the LEDs in our phones and tablets, is very rich in blue wavelengths. And our bodies are particularly sensitive to this blue light. When we expose ourselves to a lot of blue light in the evening, our brains get confused.
Confused how? It's still night, right?
Yes, but the blue light tricks our brain into thinking it's still daytime. It sends a signal to our brain that essentially says it's not time to produce melatonin yet. Melatonin is that crucial hormone that signals to our body that it's time to sleep.
So that blue light is suppressing melatonin production. That's why it's so hard to feel sleepy after scrolling through your phone in bed. You're actively fighting against your body's natural sleep signals.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's like playing a very counterproductive game of tag with your own biology. The more blue light, the less melatonin, and the harder it is to fall asleep. And even if you do fall asleep, this disruption can affect the quality of your sleep, meaning you might not feel as rested the next day.
So, what can we actually do about it? Because I think many people, myself included, feel addicted to our phones and screens, especially in the evening.
It's a common struggle, but there are practical strategies. The most effective is to create a screen curfew. This means setting a time, usually an hour to an hour and a half before your intended bedtime, where you put away all electronic devices.
An hour to an hour and a half before bed? That sounds like a significant commitment.
It is, but think about the payoff: better sleep. During this screen-free time, engage in activities that are calming and don't involve bright, stimulating light. Reading a physical book, gentle stretching, listening to a podcast. These are all fantastic alternatives.
So, if we can't completely eliminate screens, are there any other options? What about those blue light filter settings on our phones?
Those can help to a degree. Most smartphones and many computers have features that shift the screen's color temperature towards warmer, more reddish tones in the evening. This reduces the amount of blue light emitted. It's not a perfect substitute for avoiding screens altogether, but it's certainly better than a standard, bright blue light.
So, turning on night mode or a similar setting, does it make a big difference?
It can, especially if you need to use a device for an urgent reason. Think of it as damage control. It softens the blow of screen exposure. However, the absolute best practice remains a screen curfew. The screens themselves, the content you're consuming, can also be stimulating. Even if the light were neutral, a thrilling show or an intensely debated online topic can keep your mind racing, which is also the enemy of sleep.
That's a great point. It's not just the light, but the mental engagement too. So, to recap this part, blue light from screens tricks our brain into thinking it's daytime, suppressing melatonin, our sleep hormone. This makes it harder to fall asleep and can weaken sleep quality.
Exactly. And the solution involves both reducing exposure to blue light and moderating the stimulating content we consume. Implementing a screen curfew, aiming for at least an hour before bed, is the gold standard. And for times when you must use a screen, utilize blue light filters or night mode settings.
It's about being intentional with our technology. Instead of letting screens dictate our evening, we need to set boundaries that protect our sleep.
Absolutely. And this ties back to what we discussed in episode 6, the golden hour. That hour before bed is precious. We want to use it for activities that prepare us for rest, not for activities that jolt our senses. Imagine your bedroom as a sanctuary for sleep, and the screens as unwelcome guests that can overstay their welcome.
Building that sanctuary image in my mind really helps. It's about reclaiming that evening time for ourselves, for our well-being.
Yes, and embracing a device-free wind-down period allows your brain to naturally start producing melatonin, signaling to your body that it's time to rest and repair. It's a powerful step towards transforming your nights and upgrading your days.
So much great advice, Alex. It really highlights the need to be mindful of our screen habits.
It does, Lisa. And as we move forward, we'll build on these strategies to create a comprehensive approach to better sleep. Next episode, The Morning Advantage, Waking Up Right. Welcome back to the Sleep Revolution. Last time, we explored evening rituals that help us get restorative sleep. Today, we're focusing on something equally crucial: the morning. Waking up right sets the stage for a day of energy, focus, and better sleep tonight.
That's a fantastic point, Alex. It feels like we often focus so much on getting to sleep, we forget that what we do after we wake up is just as important for that whole 24-hour cycle. So, what's the big secret to a good morning?
The secret lies in consistency and leveraging natural cues. Our bodies thrive on predictability. The most powerful natural cue we have in the morning is light. Remember our discussions about circadian rhythms? Well, morning light is like the master clock reset button for your internal body clock.
Ah, yes, the circadian rhythm. That's our body's natural sleep-wake cycle, governed by light and darkness. So, seeing light first thing helps tell our body, okay, it's daytime, time to be alert.
Exactly. And the most effective light for this reset is natural sunlight. Within the first hour or two of waking, try to expose yourself to as much natural light as possible. Open those curtains, step outside if you can, even for a few minutes. This exposure signals to your brain that it's time to wake up and suppresses melatonin production.
I can definitely see how that would work. Because if you wake up and it's still dark, or you immediately turn on artificial lights, your brain might still be thinking it's nighttime, right? That would make waking up feel so much harder.
Precisely. And this brings us to another cornerstone of a good morning, a consistent wake-up time, even on weekends. I know weekends are for sleeping in, but hear me out. When you drastically change your wake-up time by, say, 3 or 4 hours on a Saturday or Sunday, you're essentially giving yourself social jet lag. It's like flying to a different time zone and then back again every weekend.
Oh, social jet lag. That sounds like exactly what I experience. I feel groggy and off for most of Sunday because I slept in so late on Saturday. So, sticking to a consistent wake-up time, even if you don't have to get up early for work, is really key for keeping that circadian rhythm on track.
Absolutely. Aim to wake up within an hour or two of your weekday wake-up time. This consistency helps anchor your circadian rhythm, making it easier to fall asleep at night and wake up feeling refreshed every day. It's about training your body to have a reliable schedule.
That makes so much sense. It's like building a sturdy foundation for your entire day. So, we've got light exposure and consistent wake times. What else contributes to a positive morning?
Hydration is hugely important. Your body loses fluids overnight through breathing and sweating. So, the very first thing you should do after waking is drink a glass of water. This not only rehydrates you, but also kickstarts your metabolism and helps you feel more alert.
Water, of course. It's so simple, but I often forget to do it. I usually reach for my phone first, which I imagine is probably not ideal for a good morning.
You've hit on another crucial point. Be mindful of what you're doing in those first few minutes and hours. Scrambling to check emails, scrolling through social media, or diving into stressful news can instantly elevate your stress levels and hijack your morning. It's like starting your day in a fight or flight response.
That's a great way to put it. It definitely feels stressful when I'm bombarded with notifications and urgent sounding messages first thing. So, perhaps a tech-free buffer zone in the morning is a good idea?
It's an excellent idea. Try to delay checking your phone for at least 30 minutes or even an hour after waking. Instead, use that time for something positive and calming. This could be gentle stretching, a few moments of mindfulness or meditation, journaling, or even just enjoying a cup of tea or coffee in silence.
I love that. Creating a positive morning routine that's just for you. It's like a little gift to yourself to start the day. And I imagine that time could also be used for some light physical activity, couldn't it?
Definitely. Light exercise in the morning can be incredibly beneficial. It doesn't have to be an intense workout. A brisk walk, some yoga, or a short session of stretching can increase blood flow, boost endorphins, and improve focus. Think of it as gently waking up your body and mind in a positive way.
So, to quickly recap what we've discussed for that morning advantage, we want to embrace that natural sunlight as soon as possible after waking to reset our circadian rhythm. Consistent wake-up times, even on weekends, are crucial for anchoring that rhythm and avoiding social jet lag. Starting with a glass of water rehydrates us and kickstarts our system. And creating a buffer zone from technology, Replacing it with calm activities like stretching, mindfulness, or light exercise sets a much more positive and productive tone for the day.
You've nailed it, Lisa. It's about setting intentions and being proactive rather than reactive. This proactive approach to your morning not only makes your day better, but also reinforces the good sleep habits we've been building throughout this series. When your body has a predictable rhythm and you're reinforcing positive cues, it naturally supports better sleep.
It's all connected, isn't it? The evening ritual, the sleep environment, and now the morning routine. It's a full 24-hour cycle of supporting our sleep.
Precisely. And the habits you establish in the morning have a ripple effect throughout your entire day, influencing your energy levels, mood, productivity, and even your ability to manage stress. It all starts with that conscious decision to wake up right.
It's inspiring to think we have this much control over our days just by optimizing our mornings.
Absolutely. And this leads us perfectly into our next episode, where we'll tackle a big one: stress, anxiety, and how they can sabotage even the best sleep habits. We'll explore practical strategies for taming those racing thoughts.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to that one.
Next episode: stress, anxiety, and the racing mind, taming your thoughts. Welcome back. Today, we tackle stress and anxiety.
It feels like as soon as our heads hit the pillow, our brains decide it's the perfect time for a marathon of thoughts, worries about work, to-do lists for tomorrow, replaying conversations from days ago. It's incredibly frustrating when you're trying to fall asleep.
Absolutely. Stress and anxiety are like the ultimate sleep saboteurs. When you're stressed, your body releases hormones that prepare you to fight or flee. That's the opposite of what you need to wind down and drift off to sleep. Your mind becomes hyperalert.
So, our instinct to worry actually keeps us awake? That seems counterproductive. How do we combat this racing mind phenomenon?
It's a fantastic question, Lisa, and the answer lies in learning to manage those anxious thoughts rather than fighting them. Remember how we talked about the evening ritual from episode 6? This is where those skills become even more crucial. We're building on that foundation.
Okay, I recall. We discussed winding down, dimming lights, avoiding stimulating activities. But what if, even with all that, the thoughts are still flooding in?
That's where specific mental techniques come into play. The first, and perhaps most powerful, is mindfulness. Mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's not about emptying your mind, but about observing your thoughts without getting carried away by them.
Observing thoughts without judgment. That sounds challenging. My first thought would be, I shouldn't be thinking about this right now.
Exactly. And that's where the judgment creeps in. With mindfulness for sleep, when a thought pops up, say about that important email you need to send tomorrow, you acknowledge it. You might think, there's the tomorrow's email thought. Then you gently guide your attention back to your breath or the feeling of your body on the mattress. You're not pushing the thought away, you're just noticing it and returning your focus.
So, it's like being an observer on a riverbank, watching thoughts float by like leaves on the water.
That's a perfect analogy, Lisa. You see them, you acknowledge them, but you don't jump into the river and swim after them. Another incredibly effective technique is guided imagery. This involves creating a calming, peaceful mental scene.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. What kind of scenes are we talking about?
Anything that evokes a sense of peace for you. It could be walking on a warm, sandy beach with the sound of gentle waves. Perhaps it's sitting in a cozy cabin by a crackling fireplace, or strolling through a serene forest. The key is to engage your senses within that imagined scene. What do you see? What do you hear, smell, feel?
So, you're actively replacing the anxious thoughts with a pleasant, detailed mental experience.
Precisely. And by actively engaging your mind in something calming, You leave less room for those intrusive, stressful thoughts to take hold. It's a way of directing your mental energy. Think of your mind like a stage. Normally, stress and anxiety are putting on a loud, chaotic play. Guided imagery is you directing a peaceful, soothing performance instead.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about redirecting your focus. What about the physical manifestation of stress? That knot in your stomach, tense shoulders?
That brings us to progressive muscle relaxation. This technique involves systematically tensing and then releasing different muscle groups in your body. You start with your toes, for example. You tense them for a few seconds and then consciously release all the tension, noticing the feeling of relaxation.
And you move up through your body?
Exactly. From your feet to your calves, thighs, stomach, arms, hands, shoulders, neck, and face. As you release the tension in each group, you become more aware of the contrast between tension and relaxation. This practice not only helps release physical tension, which is often linked to mental stress, but it also anchors your attention to your body, making it harder for your mind to race.
It sounds like a powerful way to get out of your head and into your body. So we have mindfulness, observing thoughts without judgment, guided imagery, creating peaceful mental scenes, and progressive muscle relaxation, releasing physical tension. That's a solid toolkit already.
It really is. And we can also incorporate deep breathing exercises. While simple, they are incredibly effective. When we're stressed, our breathing often becomes shallow and rapid. Deep, diaphragmatic breathing, breathing from your belly, signals to your nervous system that it's safe to relax.
Can you walk us through a simple breathing exercise we can try right now or tonight?
Of course, find a comfortable position. Lying down is ideal for sleep. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. As you inhale slowly through your nose, feel your belly rise more than your chest. Aim for a count of about 4 seconds for the inhale. Then, hold your breath gently for a moment, perhaps 2 seconds. Finally, exhale slowly through your mouth, feeling your belly gently fall. Try to make your exhale longer than your inhale, perhaps 6 seconds.
So, inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. That really emphasizes the exhale, which is the relaxation part.
Exactly. The longer exhale helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, our body's natural calming response. Practicing this consistently, even for a few minutes before bed, can make a significant difference. It's about training your body and mind to shift from a state of alert to a state of rest.
It's so important to remember that these aren't just quick fixes but practices. Like building a muscle, these techniques require repetition to become effective.
Couldn't agree more, Lisa. Consistency is key. When you're lying in bed and the thoughts start swirling, instead of getting frustrated, you can try one of these techniques. Acknowledge the thought, gently return to your breath, or immerse yourself in your peaceful beach scene. You are, in essence, retraining your brain to associate bedtime with calm, not with a mental obstacle course.
So, to recap, we've learned that stress and anxiety trigger our fight or flight response, making sleep difficult. To combat this, we can use mindfulness to observe thoughts without judgment, guided imagery to create calming mental scenes, progressive muscle relaxation to release physical tension, and deep breathing exercises, focusing on longer exhales to signal relaxation.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. These are powerful tools to help you reclaim your nights from a racing mind. By practicing these techniques, you're not just trying to fall asleep faster. You're building a more resilient and peaceful mind, which benefits you far beyond the bedroom. Next episode, the diet-sleep connection, fueling your rest.
Thanks for listening.
Welcome back. Last time we covered managing stress and quieting a racing mind for better sleep.
We learned how our thoughts profoundly impact our ability to fall and stay asleep, a really practical session on mental techniques.
Absolutely. And now, as we move into episode 10, we're exploring another fundamental pillar of restorative sleep, our diet. It's amazing how much what we eat and drink directly influences how well we rest.
I've definitely noticed that. A heavy meal late at night or too much caffeine makes sleep so much harder. It's like my body is too busy digesting.
Exactly. It goes deeper than just avoiding late night snacks. Our nutritional choices throughout the day play a vital role in signaling to our bodies when it's time to wind down. We're talking about the intricate diet-sleep connection, and today we'll break down how to fuel your rest effectively.
So, Alex, where do we begin with this connection? It feels like there's so much about food and health.
Let's start with the basics, macronutrients. These are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Each plays a different role, and getting the balance right can enhance sleep. Carbohydrates, especially complex ones like those in whole grains, can help boost serotonin, a neurotransmitter that's a precursor to melatonin, our sleep hormone.
So, it's not just about cutting out carbs as people often talk about. They can actually be helpful for sleep.
Precisely. But it's about the type of carbohydrate and when you consume them. Simple sugars, like those in candy, can cause blood sugar spikes and crashes, disrupting sleep. Complex carbohydrates, on the other hand, provide a steadier release of energy. Think about a small bowl of oatmeal or a piece of whole wheat toast a couple of hours before bed.
Okay, so complex carbs are good. What about protein and fats?
Protein is essential for building and repairing tissues and plays a role in hormone production. Foods rich in protein, like lean meats, fish, beans, and nuts, can help stabilize blood sugar and provide a sense of fullness, preventing late-night hunger pangs. Fats are also important, but focus on healthy fats like those in avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil. These should be consumed in moderation, especially closer to bedtime, as digestion of fats takes longer.
That makes sense. If I eat something fatty right before trying to sleep, I can feel it sitting there. So, a balanced plate throughout the day, with an emphasis on complex carbs and lean proteins, is a good starting point.
That's a fantastic summary, Lisa. Now, let's talk about hydration. We all know water is vital for overall health, but it also impacts our sleep. Being dehydrated can lead to discomfort, headaches, and increased awakenings.
Oh, I definitely experience that. If I'm not drinking enough water, I often wake up feeling parched.
And on the flip side, drinking too much fluid right before bed can lead to frequent trips to the bathroom, disrupting your sleep cycle. The advice here is to stay consistently hydrated throughout the day. Aim to consume most of your fluids earlier, and gradually reduce your intake in the 2 to 3 hours leading up to bedtime. This way, your body gets the hydration it needs without causing nocturnal interruptions.
So it's about finding that sweet spot with fluids, not too much, not too little, especially as bedtime approaches.
Exactly. Now, let's touch on some specific nutrients particularly linked to sleep. Magnesium is one. It's a mineral that plays a role in muscle and nerve function. It's involved in regulating neurotransmitters that promote relaxation and sleep.
Magnesium, you say? I've seen supplements for that.
Yes, and while supplements can be an option, it's always best to try and get your nutrients from whole foods first. Excellent sources of magnesium include leafy green vegetables like spinach, nuts and seeds, whole grains, and even dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate. Now you're speaking my language. So, a little bit of dark chocolate could actually be beneficial?
In moderation. And if it doesn't disrupt your sleep due to caffeine, then yes, it can be a tasty way to get some magnesium. Another important nutrient is tryptophan. You might have heard of it in relation to Thanksgiving turkey, but it's found in many other foods too, like dairy products, poultry, eggs, nuts, and seeds. Tryptophan is an amino acid that the body uses to produce serotonin, which then converts to melatonin.
Ah, so that's how turkey makes you sleepy. It's the tryptophan.
It's a part of the puzzle, yes. So, incorporating tryptophan-rich foods into your evening meal can be beneficial. Think a warm glass of milk, a small serving of chicken or turkey, or a handful of almonds.
This is fascinating, Alex. It really highlights how what we eat directly impacts our body's natural sleep-wake cycles. It's not just about feeling full, it's about providing the building blocks for sleep.
Precisely. And we also need to consider the timing of our meals. Eating meals at irregular times can disrupt our circadian rhythms, our internal body clock. This sends mixed signals to our brain about whether it's time to be awake or asleep.
So, consistency in meal times is also part of the diet-sleep connection?
Absolutely. Aim to eat your meals around the same time each day. This helps regulate your hunger hormones and reinforces your body's natural sleep-wake cycle. And when it comes to bedtime, try to finish your last substantial meal at least 2 to 3 hours before you plan to sleep. This gives your digestive system adequate time to process the food, preventing discomfort or indigestion that can interfere with sleep.
That buffer time is so important. I know I've made the mistake of eating too close to bedtime and then tossing and turning.
It's a common pitfall. Now, beyond specific nutrients and timing, let's think about what to avoid. We've already touched on caffeine and excessive sugar. Alcohol is another big one. While it might make you feel drowsy initially, it actually disrupts the later stages of sleep, leading to fragmented rest and decreased sleep quality.
I've heard that before. It might help you fall asleep faster, but it's not good quality sleep.
Exactly. It interferes with your REM sleep, which is crucial for cognitive function and emotional well-being. So, by being mindful of these dietary factors, balancing macronutrients, staying hydrated, considering key nutrients, maintaining consistent meal times, and limiting disruptors like caffeine, excessive sugar, and alcohol, we can actively fuel our sleep.
So, to recap for our listeners, focus on complex carbohydrates for steady energy and serotonin production. Include lean proteins for building blocks and blood sugar stability. Choose healthy fats in moderation. Stay well hydrated throughout the day and taper off fluids before bed. And be aware of nutrient-rich foods that support sleep, like those containing magnesium and tryptophan. Crucially, aim for consistent meal times and give your body a few hours to digest before hitting the pillow.
That's a perfect distillation of our discussion. By making conscious, informed choices about what we eat and drink, we are essentially setting ourselves up for more restorative sleep, night after night. It's about nourishing our bodies not just for waking hours, but for our precious resting hours too.
It's another powerful tool in our sleep revolution toolbox. Thank you, Alex, for breaking down this complex connection so clearly.
My pleasure, Lisa. Next episode, Sleep Hygiene Hacks. Everyday practices for better sleep. Welcome back. Last time we covered the diet-sleep connection. Now let's explore sleep hygiene hacks.
Welcome back to the Sleep Revolution. Today we're talking about everyday practices for better sleep. Think of these as easy wins.
Exactly. Sleep hygiene is all about behaviors that promote good sleep. It's about setting yourself up for rest.
It sounds simple, but consistency is key. What's a top hack?
The most important hack is your sleep schedule. Aim to go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time every single day. This helps keep your body's internal clock steady, like a reliable metronome. This consistency is vital for regulating your natural sleep-wake cycle.
Even on weekends? I love sleeping in.
While it feels good to sleep in, oversleeping on days off can disrupt your rhythm. A consistent wake-up time anchors your whole sleep cycle, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up naturally during the week.
Okay, consistent wake up is the anchor. What's next?
Light exposure is crucial. Expose yourself to bright light, especially natural sunlight, during the day. This signals to your brain that it's time to be alert and reinforces your natural sleep-wake cycle, often called your circadian rhythm.
And in the evening?
Dim your lights gradually as the evening progresses. This signals to your brain that it's time to wind down. It's like turning down the volume on your day. This also means minimizing blue light exposure from screens.
Those screens are tough.
They are. A great hack is to create a tech-free buffer zone before bed, at least an hour. Put devices away and engage in something quiet and relaxing instead.
So, a transition period between activity and sleep. What about what we eat or drink?
Good point. Limit stimulants and heavy meals close to bedtime. Caffeine, especially in the afternoon, can linger in your system and keep you awake for hours.
I've definitely had that late coffee regret.
Me too. Also, avoid large, heavy meals or consuming too many fluids right before bed. Digestion can disturb sleep, and drinking too much can lead to disruptive bathroom trips during the night.
So, don't give your body extra work when it should be focusing on resting.
Precisely. Then there's creating a relaxing bedtime routine. This is your personal wind-down ritual. A warm bath, reading a book, gentle stretching. Find what relaxes you and do it consistently.
This helps your brain associate those activities with sleep.
Yes, you create a predictable signal that says it's time to prepare for sleep. Also, manage your thoughts and worries. If your mind tends to race, try a worry journal earlier in the evening. Write down your concerns to get them out of your head before you try to sleep.
That's a great tip for overthinkers. Channeling worries onto paper.
Exactly. And if you find yourself unable to sleep after about 20 minutes, get out of bed. Do something quiet in dim light until you feel sleepy, then return to bed. This prevents your bed from becoming a place of frustration and wakefulness.
It feels counterintuitive to get up when you're that tired, but I see how it stops associating the bed with wakefulness.
It's counterintuitive, but very effective. You're teaching your brain that your bed is specifically for sleep. Another hack is to ensure your bedroom environment is cool, dark, and quiet. Check your curtains to block light. Consider earplugs if noise is an issue, and keep the temperature slightly cool.
A cool room helps you sleep better.
It generally does. Lastly, regular physical activity powerfully supports better sleep. While very intense exercise right before bed might be disruptive for some, consistent daytime or early evening exercise greatly improves overall sleep quality and depth.
So, it's a foundational practice, not necessarily a pre-bed hack.
Right. So, to recap these practical hacks, maintain a consistent sleep schedule, manage your light exposure throughout the day and night, limit stimulants and heavy meals close to bedtime, establish a relaxing bedtime routine, actively manage your thoughts and worries, optimize your bedroom for sleep, and incorporate regular physical activity.
These are all practical, everyday actions we can all integrate into our lives. They are small, manageable choices that can lead to significant improvements in our sleep quality.
These practices are ongoing. They are investments in your health that lead to more restful sleep and, consequently, better, more energized days.
It's truly empowering to know we have this much control over our sleep through these simple, consistent habits.
Absolutely. These are the fundamental building blocks for the restful sleep you deserve. Next episode, building your bulletproof routine, integration and consistency. Welcome back to the Sleep Revolution. Let's build a bulletproof sleep routine.
We've explored so much about sleep. Now it's time to make it all stick through integration and consistency.
Exactly. We've given listeners powerful tools. Now, we connect them into a harmonious system for better sleep.
A bulletproof routine sounds resilient and effective. How do we construct one?
By embracing consistency, our bodies crave predictability. Remember episode 3 on circadian rhythms? Consistent sleep and wake times signal our internal clocks, making it easier to fall asleep and wake refreshed.
So, setting a steady sleep and wake time is the non-negotiable foundation.
Absolutely. And our evening ritual, the golden hour from episode 6, is key. It's about intentionally winding down, signaling sleep preparation. Your routine integrates this, perhaps a 30-minute period before bed, dim lights, no screens, recalling episode 7, and a calming activity.
Like reading, a warm bath, or gentle stretching, activities that soothe our nervous system.
Precisely. This ritual should flow. If you're coming from a busy day, your routine must transition you smoothly into relaxation. Consistency here creates a powerful habit loop, automating these beneficial actions.
A habit loop, training our brain to associate those actions with relaxation and sleep.
Yes, and your morning routine, covered in episode 8, is equally vital. A consistent wake-up time sets your circadian rhythm for the entire day, priming you for good sleep later. Expose yourself to natural light soon after waking.
So, it's a 24-hour commitment to sleep health, not just what happens before bed.
You've got it. We also proactively mitigate sleep saboteurs from episode 5. Be mindful of caffeine, plan meals away from bedtime, and ensure your bedroom remains your sleep sanctuary, cool, dark, and quiet.
This is about actively managing our sleep, not just reacting to problems.
And when life happens, which it will, a bulletproof routine needs built-in resilience. Troubleshooting is key.
What are common challenges, and how do we overcome them?
A big one is guilt over breaking the routine. Instead of thinking the night is ruined, acknowledge the slip-up and return to your routine at the next opportunity. If you sleep in, try to stay within an hour or two of a usual time and resume normally the next day.
So, flexibility within the framework of consistency?
Exactly. It's about resilience. External factors like noise can also be roadblocks. Revisit your sanctuary principles, earplugs, eye masks, or open communication with partners about sleep needs.
And when the racing mind from episode 9 interferes.
That's where an integrated routine shines. If you practice mindfulness or journaling, those tools are ready. Return to them when anxious thoughts arise. The routine itself becomes an anchor, a familiar pathway back to calm.
It sounds like building this routine is a dedicated, ongoing effort.
It is, and it's personal. Listen to your body. Adjust elements that don't serve you. But always hold onto the core principles. Consistent sleep, wake times, a structured wind down, and a predictable morning.
It's about weaving together all the threads, circadian rhythms, sleep architecture, diet, tech, into a cohesive daily practice that truly supports our sleep.
Right? So, to build your bulletproof routine, prioritize consistent sleep and wake times to anchor your circadian rhythm. Establish and stick to a calming evening ritual that smoothly transitions you. Recognize your morning routine's role in setting your sleep clock. Proactively manage sleep disruptors and develop resilience for troubleshooting, returning to your habits when needed.
This is the ultimate goal, transforming knowledge into a powerful, daily habit that uplifts our days by optimizing our nights.
It truly is. In our next episode, we'll explore advanced sleep strategies and troubleshooting for those persistent challenges. Next episode, advanced sleep strategies and troubleshooting. Welcome back to the Sleep Revolution, episode 13. Today, we're diving into advanced strategies and common sleep puzzles.
That's right, Alex. We've covered a lot, from sleep architecture to optimizing our habits. But what happens when your routine still hits a snag?
Exactly. It's time to look beyond the basics. We'll tackle sleep inertia, how to adapt for travel or shift work, and when to seek professional guidance.
So let's start with that groggy feeling after waking up. even with enough sleep. What's that about?
We're talking about sleep inertia. Picture this. You wake up, and for a while, you feel disoriented and sluggish. Your brain is still booting up, so to speak.
Ah, that zombie-like state. I've definitely been there. So, it's not just about how much you sleep, but when you wake up in your sleep cycle.
Precisely. Sleep inertia is most pronounced when you're woken during a deep stage of sleep. Imagine being pulled out of deep rest before you're ready. Your brain needs time to transition back to full alertness.
Okay, so how can we mitigate this? Any hacks to shake off that grogginess faster?
Yes. First, consistent wake-up times, even on weekends. This anchors your circadian rhythm. Second, expose yourself to bright light immediately. Natural sunlight is best. It signals your brain it's time to be awake.
Light therapy, essentially. What else?
Light physical activity. Even a few minutes of stretching can kickstart your metabolism and blood flow. Staying hydrated is also crucial, as dehydration can worsen fatigue. And, if possible, allow yourself a few minutes to orient yourself before demanding tasks. It's a gentle reentry for your brain.
Those are great practical tips. Now, what about disruptions? Travel is a big one. How do we manage jet lag and maintain sleep when moving around?
Jet lag is a clash between your internal clock and the new time zone. The key is to help your body adapt quickly. My best advice is to immediately adjust your sleep and meal times to the new destination schedule.
So, no lingering in your old time zones habits?
Resist the temptation. Upon arrival, get daylight exposure during the new day and avoid bright light an hour or two before your new bedtime. Napping can help, but keep them short, 20 to 30 minutes, and not too close to your intended bedtime.
And shift work? That seems fundamentally disruptive to circadian rhythms.
Shift work is one of the most challenging scenarios. For shift workers, consistency within their shift schedule is paramount. Minimizing shift changes and, ideally, rotating shifts forward in time, from day to evening to night, can sometimes be easier on the body than backward rotation.
Forward rotation, like moving the clock forward. That makes intuitive sense.
Exactly. And for sleep itself, creating a sleep environment that's as dark, quiet, and cool as possible, regardless of the time of day you need to sleep, becomes even more critical. Blackout curtains and earplugs can be invaluable. Short naps before or during a night shift can also help alertness, but again, avoid long naps that could interfere with your main sleep period.
It sounds like the core principles of optimizing your sleep environment and routine still apply, but with extra emphasis and creativity for shift workers.
Absolutely. And that brings us to a really important point, knowing when to seek professional help. We've discussed many strategies, and for most, these will make a significant difference. But for some, persistent sleep problems can indicate an underlying issue.
So, what are the red flags? When should someone stop troubleshooting on their own and consult a doctor or a sleep specialist?
If you consistently struggle to fall asleep or stay asleep, despite implementing good sleep hygiene, if you experience excessive daytime sleepiness that impacts your daily functioning, your work, or your relationships, and if you have concerns about conditions like sleep apnea, which can manifest as loud snoring, gasping for air during sleep, or very intense daytime sleepiness.
Those are critical indicators. It's not about just dismissing it as bad sleep days.
Right? Sleep specialists can identify and treat a range of sleep disorders. They might recommend a sleep study, which can provide valuable diagnostic information. Don't hesitate to reach out if your sleep issues feel overwhelming or are significantly impacting your quality of life.
It's reassuring to know there are resources for more complex challenges. We've covered sleep inertia, adapting to travel and shift work, and the importance of professional help. It really highlights that the sleep revolution isn't rigid rules, but an adaptive approach to building a lifetime of better rest.
Well said, Lisa. We've built a robust foundation for understanding and improving sleep. Next episode, The Sleep Revolution, a lifetime of better days.
Sounds like a perfect wrap up. Join us next time for episode 14, where we'll discuss the long-term vision for a life transformed by sleep.
Welcome back to the Sleep Revolution. We've reached the final episode of our journey.
It's hard to believe we're at episode 14. Today, we're looking back at everything we've learned and forward to a lifetime of better days, all thanks to better nights. Alex, after all these episodes, what's the biggest takeaway for you?
Lisa, I think the biggest takeaway is that sleep isn't a luxury. It's a fundamental pillar of our health and well-being. It's not just about resting our bodies. It's about optimizing our minds, our moods, and our overall ability to function and thrive. We've talked about this from the very beginning. Sleep is an active, vital process.
Absolutely. We started with the dawn of the sleep revolution, setting the stage for why prioritizing sleep is so crucial. Remember how we first dove into decoding our sleep architecture in episode 2? Understanding those stages, light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, and what happens in each one, really opened my eyes. It's like realizing your brain is doing vital housekeeping while you're zonked out.
Exactly. And that led us to the power of circadian rhythms in episode 3. Learning how our internal body clock influences our sleep-wake cycles and how to align our lives with it feels like unlocking a secret code to natural energy. It's all about working with your body, not against it.
Then we got practical with episode 4, crafting our sleep sanctuary. Creating that ideal bedroom environment, dark, quiet, cool, is such a foundational step. It's amazing how small changes, like the right curtains or a consistent temperature, can make such a difference.
And we didn't shy away from the saboteurs. Episode 5 tackled those unseen disruptors. Things like caffeine too late in the day, or even environmental factors in our bedroom, can throw our sleep off course without us even realizing it. Identifying those was key.
I found episode 6, The Golden Hour, incredibly helpful. Mastering that pre-sleep ritual, winding down intentionally, is so important. It's like preparing the soil before planting a seed. You need that calm, consistent preparation for good sleep to grow.
And speaking of saboteurs, episode 7 put a spotlight on the screen culprit. We learned how the blue light from our phones and computers can trick our brains into thinking it's still daytime, messing with melatonin production. It's a tough one in our modern world, but strategies like dimming screens or avoiding them altogether before bed are game changers.
Episode 8 shifted our focus to the morning advantage. Waking up right, with a gentle alarm and some natural light, sets a positive tone for the entire day. It's that reciprocal relationship. Good mornings lead to better evenings, and thus better sleep.
Then we tackled the mind. Episodes 9 and 10 dealt with stress, anxiety, and the diet-sleep connection. Learning techniques to tame a racing mind and understanding how our food choices directly impact our rest was eye-opening. It's not just about what you eat, but when you eat.
And the practical hacks. Episode 11 was packed with actionable sleep hygiene strategies, from breathing exercises to gentle stretching. These are the everyday practices that build up to significant improvements.
Building on that, episode 12 brought it all together with building a bulletproof routine. Consistency is king, right? Integrating these habits into our daily lives, making them automatic, is where the real magic happens.
And in episode 13, we explored advanced strategies for those who wanted to go even deeper, troubleshooting common issues and fine-tuning their approach. It shows that the journey doesn't have to be rigid. It can be adapted and personalized.
Now, here we are, episode 14. We've covered the science, the environment, the habits, and the mindset. The sleep revolution isn't just about a few good nights. It's about a fundamental shift in how we view and value rest. It's a commitment to ourselves, leading to more energy, better focus, improved mood, and a significantly enhanced quality of life day after day.
It truly is a revolution. By understanding our bodies, optimizing our environment, and building consistent, healthy habits, we empower ourselves to live more vibrant, fulfilling lives. It's about reclaiming our energy and our well-being one night at a time.
So, continue to experiment, to listen to your body, and to prioritize your sleep. The knowledge is out there, the tools are in your hands. This isn't an end point, it's the beginning of a lifetime of better days, fueled by the power of truly restorative sleep. We've equipped you with the knowledge and strategies, and now it's up to you to make the sleep revolution a lifelong practice.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. We've loved sharing these insights with you. Thanks for listening to the series.